rendezvous between classes, meeting at the water fountain, every school setting. Every reunion has brought classmates closer together than we ever were in high school. And you know you will find that to be true of this weekend as well. This reunion is the end of our class-only reunions, but the Binghamton City School District Alumni Association has an over 50 reunion each year, bringing together classes from all Binghamton schools. So sign up to be an Alumni Association member if you're not already one already. It's only $10 a year, or if you want a lifetime membership, it's $100. And they put on at least 2 plays and a couple of sporting events a year. For $10, you can't beat it. We hope everyone that attended the Icebreaker and the school tour had a good time. We wish to thank Katrina O'Day, Director of Catering, and Doubletree Hotel staff for a wonderful evening. And thank you to our tour guide, Principal of BCHS, Roxanne Oberg, and assistant for our school tour today. I'd like to ask all of you, why are we here tonight? Is it to reconnect with your hometown, with fellow classmates, school spirit? I believe that for most of us, it's a little of all of that. And we grew up in a magical period of time like no other. We want to recognize 2 former teachers and their spouses, Joe and Ann Mon. And Connie and Ellie Morgan. We are glad that you can join us in our celebration. Your main reunion committee is 6 dedicated people who have spent many countless hours sleuthing, finding missing classmates and other projects. I'd like to introduce you to them at this time. Steve Chineka. Steve is our driving force and reunion chairman. He has been responsible for your reunion planning, contacting current and missing classmates, overall planning detail, and producing the reunion booklet. Bruce Nelson, right here to my left. He is one of our class reunion photographers. You're also responsible for your badges, the photos in the memorial presentation, and the kids' photo presentation. Lynn Munson-Hunkovic. Our teacher contact on the food committee, finding missing classmates, and classmate check-ins. Kathy Wallenberg-Remanowitz. Kathy has been finding classmates ever since she took on the school picture CD project for the 45th reunion. Kathy spent many countless hours of her own monies to mail out those picture CDs. Her panorama news project and the 6th grade class photos took much of her time and effort out of her busy schedule. And if I can get to my last page. This year, she also took on the childhood photo project, which was been behind me here running all evening. Tyler's dedication to the class is something that we want to commend. Thank you, Kathy. Connie and I were responsible for photography, monies, class website, the new Facebook group, food committee, and check-in. Our 2 associate members were Beverly Penhouse. Finding lost classmates and helped with check-in, and so was Doug Campion. We want to thank 5 anonymous benefactor classmates who gave generously in order to keep the cost of this reunion to an affordable level. I give you over to my water fountain classmate and spouse for her reflection on the evening.
We are gathered here together by no accident. The love stuck. We bond together in a powerful and tender alliance. I think our own Helen Foley, Tom Clune, and Rod Serling are here with us in spirit. Helen, would never have let me exclude Rod. Helen was as awesome as the gentle...
Closer to the mic. Thank you.
Helen was as awesome as the gentle tinkle of a music box in a hushed cathedral. Her message is, love is power and tenderness, and it sticks to the kids of 1966. Helen once told me that Joan of Arc was her favorite person and saint in history. Joan of Arc, with her sword in hand, joins Helen's spirit and our own exuberance here tonight. For each of us in music, sports, drama, or in one of the many other extracurricular activities, or even none. This makes our 50-year class reunion a very memorable and historic event. The most awesome one ever. It is a sweet and melodramatic love that connects us. The kids of 1966, Binghamton Central High School.
Yay.
Now I'd like to introduce to you our wonderful classmate and very loved friend, Kathy Wallenberg.
I didn't really prepare anything. Earlier this afternoon. I just want to say how wonderful it is to see everybody here. All these people after 50 years. Some of you were at some of the prior reunions, but some of you were not. And how did we get here? How can it be 50 years? But, one thing I wanted to mention is that my husband David, we were at the Icebreaker last night, and when we got back to the hotel room, he said, "They're all such nice people." He really enjoyed talking to those of you he managed to get to, and was impressed by how friendly, open, and warm all these Binghamtonians are. So how did this reunion happen? It all came together under the dictatorship, directorship, that's a little joke between Steve and me, of one man whom you all know and who has continually impressed me with his dedication to the pursuit in tracking you all down, and believe me, it wasn't easy, and persuading you to come, and that's Steve Chineka, whom you all know. kid you not, we have exchanged thousands of emails. Sometimes several dozen a day. He worked relentlessly, tirelessly, and sometimes didn't want to answer my emails because he was busy tracking somebody down. I was going to thank all the people on the committee, but Jim already did that, so there's no point in my repeating everything. I do want to thank Bruce for his wonderful, these badges are just amazing. I had my projects, the panoramas. Those of you that have been asking me, well, what about the panoramas? Did you bring the panoramas? Yes, I brought the panoramas, but I'll give them to you later on in the evening, or they'll get lost, or somebody will spill wine on them, or they'll get up to dance and they won't be there when you get back. I will give them out later, as well as the door prizes. And, oh, I also wanted to thank Kathy Tomick. 5 years ago, after the last reunion, I got an email from her and she said, I have an idea for the next reunion. How about instead of being served our entire meals and being stuck at the same table with the same people all night, we have food stations so that people can go up buffet style and get their meals and then wander about and sit wherever they want. Well, guess what, Kathy? I don't know where you are. Wherever she is. Thank you for the idea. I started with your email. I started a list called Ideas for the 50th. That was 5 years ago. And we implemented it, and I think it's going to be a really good thing. And that's it.
Good evening. It is totally joyous and absolutely wonderful to see all of our classmates from the 1966 January and June classes of Binghamton Central High School meet here for our 50th reunion. It does not seem possible that 5 decades have passed. In our remaining years, I can only wish all of you the best in every future endeavor and much health and happiness as you spend time with those you love and hold most dear. This is an Irish blessing that I found to be most appropriate. May you live a long life full of gladness and health, with a pocket of gold as the least of your wealth. May the dreams you hold dearest be those that come true. The kindness you spread keep returning to you. May the friendships you make be those which endure, and all of your gray clouds be small ones for sure. And trusting in Him to whom we all pray, may a song fill your heart every step of the way. Congratulations to all of us. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you. Connie Lorden, our wonderful and beloved chemistry teacher, was the last principal of Binghamton Central High School before Central and North joined to become Binghamton High. He is here and would like to say a few words. Connie?
Lindsay just made a mistake. You gave an Irishman a microphone. It is a pleasure for Eller and I to be here tonight, along with Joan and Juan, to remember the class of 1966, when Central was still in operation, and I want to tell you, Binghamton Central was one hell of a high school. For some of you here, there was one hell of a chemistry teacher there. His name was John Reed. But I want to tell you, back in those days, I have to tell you two quick stories about Central. Central was a wonderful place to teach. The students were fantastic. And then later on, as I became principal, it was a wonderful school to be principal of. And I was the last principal of Binghamton Central. I know that won't get me much, but at least it'll show that in a yearbook or something. Two stories I want to tell you quickly. Way back in those days, the New York Times used to have an education supplement in the newspaper about once a month, on the morning newspaper. I forget which day it was. If you remember Mr. Bernstein, Shakespeare, he was a legend. Well, the New York Times sent a reporter up there to do a story on A. Bernstein for the education supplement. And I notified the teachers that this reporter was going to be here, and she had free access to the building, not only with Mr. Bernstein's classes, but any place she wanted to go. So later on in the day, the superintendent called me and asked me if I could take her back to the airport because he had to go to an emergency meeting. So I was taking her up to the airport, and I said to her, I said, what do you think of our high school? She said, well, I want to tell you. She said, the floors squeak, the paint's peeling, but there's good education going on in that building. And the other is a personal nature. We have two sons who are out of college and in their careers. They both went to Central, and now their children have all graduated from high school and college or graduated from college. And in talking with them, to this day they say, Dad, the schools they went to had no comparison to Central. They say Central's faculty was outstanding, and we got a good education there, which they did. One of them was a worker, and the other one didn't have to work too hard. So they got to college, and he found out he had to. But they said, Dad, there's no comparison. He said the departments at Central were great, the teachers were great, but more importantly, the students were good. They really were. I enjoyed being principal at Central. I enjoyed teaching chemistry. And you know, today they have these search committees to go out and hire administrators, principals, and stuff like that. I was just asked. I said, yeah, why not? But again, I want to congratulate all of you for having a Central graduation, and I want to thank you for making me happy to be the last principal of Binghamton Central.